Welcome to today's episode of my show Through a Trauma-Informed Lens, Soma, Psyche and Soul. I'm Aneta Itchak and I want to warmly welcome you here. As always, I want to say thank you so much for joining me here in this space. And as we are arriving for today's episode, I'd like you just to take a moment to pause and check in with yourself. Whether you are out walking and listening to the audio recording of this episode, or whether you're watching it as a video with a cup of tea or coffee, or whether you are doing something really relaxing or squeezing it in between your tasks, take a moment to shift your awareness more within and to check in how you are in this moment. Maybe noticing the energy within your body, the rhythm of your own body and your being, maybe noticing your own breath, maybe allowing yourself to soften into the support underneath you, taking a moment to notice any feelings or emotions that are present here, taking a moment to listen to what's going on in your mind, the stories that are going through your mind in this moment. And then also allowing yourself to widen your awareness to include your immediate environment and then to include the whole world and the whole universe. Reconnecting with something greater than yourself in this moment, something that we are all part of, but so often we forget to include in our checking in. And then just notice if there is anything that you need in this moment and whether you can meet those needs in an empowered way. Even me just guiding you through this very short practice, I can feel how that shifted the quality of my presence in this moment. This is one of the practices that I teach in our training certification, the 160-hour trauma-informed somatic teacher and coach for women. And this is what I want to talk about today, as I am arriving to record the show episode. It's the middle of summer, the fullness of summer. It's been quite warm. I know many of us are working in a reduced schedule, allowing ourselves to connect with our loved ones, with our children, allowing ourselves to embrace the fullness of summer. And this is the time of the year that I always reflect on my business, on my life, how things are going. I also reflect on the season of life that I am in, which is the early autumn of my life. I'm 52, enjoying the fullness of my life. And of course, for those of you who are similar age to me, struggling at times with the symptoms of perimenopause and how I can look after myself as I am also running a business, running a training academy, and supporting my clients. So I hope you're really allowing yourself to embrace the fullness of summer and maybe slow down a little bit to allow yourself to rest before we hit busy autumn period. We also just finished cohort number 4 of our training certification. And I want to talk about something that happens again and again inside our trauma-informed somatic teacher and coach for women training. Something that always leaves me feel with gratitude, with appreciation, and something that is almost so magical and yet so very deeply human and deeply feminine. I'm very aware that when women first find my work and our training certification, they are looking for a professional well-structured and accredited training certification. They are looking for something that would take their work and their professional recognition a step further. They often are looking for something that would teach them more about trauma-informed and somatic approach, that will teach them about the nervous system and the nervous system regulation, the polyvagal theory, the practices for nervous system regulation and working with clients in a safer way, to be able to hold spaces, safe enough spaces for their clients, to really allow themselves to feel like they are no longer winging it. They want to be excellent at what they do. They want to learn tools and techniques and frameworks that will allow them to have clarity and proficiency in what they're doing. So many of these women are already working with others. They are wellness practitioners and coaches and therapists and yoga teachers, body workers. They are already making positive impact in their clients' lives, but they know that something is missing. And usually there is something around the nervous system, understanding and work. So they come looking for something that will give them confidence to work with the nervous system, to support their clients in ways that are most effective, safe, and sustainable. And our training certification gives them exactly that. But here is the truth. Something that when they sign up for the training they don't always expect. And that is how much this learning and understanding and growth will take them on a healing journey and transform them in the process. And this is why so many women who complete our training say that this training is life-changing. And you can see it in the testimonials that I share and also the interviews that I did with our graduates on my show. Often they will say that they signed up because they wanted to become a better practitioner and they wanted to have a recognized accreditation. But they also say that they had no idea how much this will change their own life. Because this training invites you to do your own work so you can walk your talk. The only way that you can really understand this work is if you do it yourself as well. This is why in the training, I don't just teach you theory. I don't just teach you the models. I don't just teach you the frameworks. I take you on a journey to understand the theory, to understand how something works through the mind. And then I teach you practices that allow you to understand firsthand how it works. And we start with you as a practitioner. We start with you doing the practices for yourself again and again. So then it becomes embodied wisdom. So it becomes part of who you are. Like the checking in practice. You might understand how it works. You might understand the framework and the process and the practice, but then it's about doing it on a daily basis, again and again. And then this very simple practice becomes just something that you do. Well, I am that kind of woman that checks in with herself on a daily basis. Or when I need to make a decision, I pause and I check in to really understand what is really going on for me. What's my truth in this moment? What do I need to do Or what action do I need to take as my next step from that embodied, connected space, the state of presence, the state of understanding, the state of curiosity, openness, kindness, and self-compassion. Not from pressure, external or that comes from within me, not to prove my worthiness, not to show that I am an expert. So I get acceptance and recognition from others. Can you see how different that approach is? This kind of work needs to be done gently, with baby steps, at a pace that is right for you. So we're not digging things up. This is not a therapy course. But for you to understand how the theory works, you need to take it to the level of embodiment, to the level of experience, lived experience, because there is no shortcut for lived experience. It needs to be lived and it needs to be experienced. And that's how embodiment works. When we understand the theory and we can translate it into practical ways of working with it, then it becomes lived experience. Then the knowledge becomes wisdom. And so women in our training often uncover patterns that they didn't realize were still running the show. And this is on all of the different layers of our experience, on the layer of Soma, on the layer of Psyche, and on the layer of Soul. Because we are creatures of habit. And by definition, something that is a habit is unconscious. It runs the show underneath everything else. And the only way that we can change it is for it to become conscious. We have to become aware of it in order to be able to change it. And there are so many different wonderful practices that I teach you within the training that really help you to learn to listen deeply to what's going on for you, and then listen deeply to what's going on for your clients. So connecting with what's going on with you, becoming more aware, happens gently and softly in a very tender way, rather than from the pressure of having to release something, force something, or push something through. In this way, you reconnect with your power. You reconnect with your unique expression, with your unique voice. You reconnect with your joy, with who you are. And often you reconnect with the sense of loss and grief for everything that hasn't been acknowledged or witnessed or accepted. So it's not always comfortable. It can be challenging at times, but it's also so liberating. And if you ever said to yourself that you want to walk your talk, that you want to live and work in an authentic way and with integrity, this is the way to do it. So this is why this space is where women so often come home to themselves, where the old strategies, survival strategies, can start to soften, where wholeness moves from just being a great sounding idea to a lived experience. And the most beautiful thing about this kind of training is that women who are doing it with us are not doing it alone. There is something so sacred that happens when a group of women comes together and share the intention of connecting, of learning, of growing, of healing together without competition, without any pressure, where women hold space for each other from the space of kindness and compassion, where we can show up as we are in our beautiful, imperfect humanness and create a community that feels safe enough to share some of our vulnerabilities and share what's going on for us and celebrate the positive shifts that happen. So this is our group calls are structured in a certain kind of way. There is a lot of practice. Yes, there is theory, but there is also space for discussion, a space for connection, for mutual support, for holding space for each other, for peer practice, for exploration, for asking questions. And this is also not a space where there is hundreds of women that the group is so big that you will not get a chance to get to know everybody within the group. The group is smaller on purpose, so you get to know each other. And it fosters this place for an honest reflection with a lot of encouragement, with a lot of kindness and tenderness. I've seen women collaborate on their projects within the training, refer clients to each other, support each other, and make friends and encourage each other wholeheartedly. The power of this kind of community cannot be manufactured. It's something that grows organically and every time we come together, because there is depth, because there is genuine care, and because each woman brings the wholeness of who she is into every time we come together. It is a sisterhood that is created one baby step at a time, where we do the work together and show up with courage and the wholeness of who we are. So yes, when women finish this certification, they leave changed and they leave with professional qualification and accreditation. They leave with new tools, frameworks, techniques, a different and deeper understanding of trauma-informed and somatic work, guiding, teaching, coaching. But more than that, they leave changed on a deeper level, on a level of their self-concept and self-identity, and with more embodied confidence. They leave with more clarity about the unique voice and the unique gifts and who they want to work with. And they leave feeling more grounded, stable, more present, embracing more the unique feminine leadership. And in the knowing that their work is so very needed within our society, especially at this time where there is so much uncertainty, so much chaos, so much anxiety and fear within our communities and within the world. And they live with a deeper relationships with themselves, a relationship that is built on more kindness, more gentleness, more embracing of the fullness of who they are, more compassionate for themselves and more compassionate for their clients, that comes from real understanding of what's going on for their clients and for other people. Because this work changes your nervous system. It changes your relationships. It changes your capacity to hold space for others and be with others, not just professionally, but in your life as a whole. And I want to encourage you, if you are interested, to really read the testimonials on our website and to listen to some of the interviews that I've done with our graduates. Each one of them is doing their own work, the work that only she can do in this world, in this life. And that's something that certainly is possible for each one of us. And I also want to say that each cohort, each group changes me as a woman. And I can see it in every single aspect of my life, personal life and professional life, how different I am because of all the connection, all the learning and growth and healing that we've been together. Each time we complete another group, I am left in awe and appreciation of the courage and the realness and honesty and tenderness and the healing that was created in the group. If you're listening and something in your body or within your being is whispering, "This is for me," I want to warmly invite you to learn more about our training certification. Our autumn cohort will be starting soon, and I want to invite you to reach out and connect with me. Explore the interviews, read through the testimonials, check out the syllabus of our training, and you will see how different this training is. Watch the recorded info and taster session that is available on my website, and come and join our community. And as always, I want to say thank you for listening and for being part of this community, for taking time to connect with me here. And whether you join us or not, I want you to know that your work, your journey, and your healing matters. Your voice is important. Be one of the voices in this conversation. Make positive impact within your community. Keep showing up. Don't give up. Keep showing up for yourself, for your clients, for your loved ones, and for your vision. This is what makes difference. And this is what will create the world we want to live in. Take care of yourself. Enjoy the summer. Take time to slow down, reflect, and dream. And I look forward to seeing you again soon.